Now, speaking of quarterbacks,
Yeah.
and this is an area where it can, even though it didn't affect the ratings, it resulted in a lot of people saying, why am I watching this crap when the 49ers were down to no quarterbacks? Well, they were down to Brock Purdy, who couldn't throw the football. It was either him or Christian McCaffrey taking snaps after Purdy and Josh Johnson were both injured in the NFC Championship. And let me do a quick history lesson. Once upon a time, the rule was you had 45 guys in uniform. You could dress a 46th only if that 46th player was a quarterback. Third quarterback, the emergency quarterback, the player who could only play in the first three quarters if the first two were injured. And let me state it more accurately. If that quarterback made an appearance in the first three quarters of the game, the other two could not return. It was presumed they were too injured to play. Fourth quarter, you were allowed to use the third quarterback at will. At some point, and it was about a decade ago, teams decided, why don't you just let us pick which guy we're going to make the 46th player? Let's just have a 46-man roster. If we choose to make that third guy a quarterback, so be it, or otherwise we can do something else, another backup tackle. We can do an extra defensive back depending upon the game. Another receiver dresses that day, running back, whatever. And so most teams, if not all teams really, unless you go into the game with a starting quarterback who has an injury concern, isn't dressing three quarterbacks.
Right.
And you're rolling the dice. You're taking the risk, the calculated risk, that you're not going to need to get down to your third quarterback. And as Mike McCarthy said during his tenure as coach of the Packers, this was years ago. It was either McCarthy or Ted Thompson, but I think it was McCarthy. As to why they didn't have three quarterbacks on the roster, his point was if you get down to your third quarterback, you're pretty much screwed anyway. And I don't necessarily believe that as it relates to having the ability to get that third quarterback ready to play on a Sunday. But if you get down to the third guy on a Sunday who's had limited reps, limited prep, he's not the guy you're getting ready to play. If he's got to go in there, yeah, it's probably not going to be very good, but at least it's better than having no quarterback at all. So what they want to do now is go back to having that third quarterback. They want to have a 47th guy now who dresses, who would be the third quarterback. That was tabled. There is reportedly a lot of support for it. I suspect it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And probably what will happen is they'll do it for a while, and then they'll say, hey, just let us put anyone we want in that 47th uniform, and we'll be right back where we were.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think so. You know, a little bit, you know, obviously it hurt the NFC Championship game. Yes. But, you know, one of the reasons this whole thing started to, three quarterbacks, let's just go to two, was because of our prior conversation. Because teams started to go, quarterbacks don't really get hurt anymore. You can't even hit the quarterback. What? We don't need three of them. Let's just dress two of them. Doesn't matter. The guy getting hurt, what do you mean? They blow in his ear. They get a penalty. He's not going to get hurt. So teams started to get a little gutsier and riskier with that subject. But I do like the aspect. I know they tabled it, but I like the aspect of the 46th guy. And then, hey, 47th guy, sure, third quarterback. You're right. But you know, for now, in the current environment, let's just keep that 47th guy the third quarterback for just in case, just like you talked about. You know, we want to keep the quarterback for ratings and TV and all of that. That game still, you could say what you want. Yeah, the 49ers probably don't win with a third-string quarterback. But the game probably would have been more competitive. We would have been like, they can actually throw a pass here. So the Philly has to call a defense to stop the pass. Right? I mean, that we got to a point in the third quarter where we were like, whoa, it's 3rd and 8, and they're going to run the ball up the middle. I mean, there's nothing they can do. So that's where it'll change a little. But this is one I hope does pass. I hope it does pass. And I was actually shocked to see it tabled, Mike. I thought it would pass right away.
Well, and I think at the end of the day, if you dress that 47th guy, it creates additional
money,
financial.
I know. That's where I was about to go.
The owners.
Yeah,
it's somebody else. It's somebody else getting a roster
game day
bonus
roster
for being active that day.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yes, there is some cheapness floating around. Even though everyone is making a ton of money, they still want to keep a lid because you could say, hey, you got 53 guys on the roster, just put them all in uniform.
Yeah.
Like just dress them all if they're healthy. So that is where it's moving. And they're using this one example this one occasion where the planets lined up and knocked out 2 quarterbacks in the same day.
Right.
And it was an embarrassment to the league to have more than half or roughly half of a significant postseason game marred by a team that was completely one-dimensional on offense, because when they put Purdy back in, he couldn't throw because of that elbow injury that he suffered, and then Johnson left with a concussion, and that was that. So I was joking around about it because we were debating it within the PFT writers text chain, because, again, my point is if you get down to your third quarterback, you're screwed in a given game. Why don't they do the thing they did in hockey? Remember, right before the pandemic, one of the big stories in sports was the guy who drives the Zamboni at one of these professional hockey games and is also just the emergency goalie who's hanging around in case either team needs him. He's just there. Like, how about just have a quarterback who's just there? One guy who's just like the backup referee, just have a backup, unattached quarterback. And I'm kidding.
Yes.
But I'm kind of not. Just have that guy at every stadium. And then if you have this emergency option, you break the glass and you say, hey, quarterback, put on the uniform and you go play, because we need somebody who can actually throw a football. It doesn't matter if you don't know the offense. It doesn't matter if you don't know the players. We just need someone who can throw. And again, I'm kidding, but that's basically what it is. It's the emergency. Oh, crap, this game is going to be unwatchable. Let's hold our audience together by having a third quarterback available. And for that reason, I think they're going to pass it. It's just a matter of time. But my point is this. Any team that wanted to have a third quarterback in uniform could have. The 49ers could have.
Right.
Any team could. But they're betting that it's not going to be a situation. And it's not a situation until it is.
Right.
And then it's a huge mess. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.